Welcome to Larp Academia, and today we're going to talk about Belegarth. Primarily, what is Belegarth? Now, Belegarth is an interesting LARP. It's honestly more of a sport than a LARP. And when we talked about what kind of LARPs there are, we talked about there being combat LARPs and social LARPs. Now, Belegarth is most definitely a combat LARP, since there's not much else to the game. And that's part of the strength of Belegarth, is that it is extraordinarily simple in its rule set. It is so simple, in fact, that I have this, yes, you've seen me use it in Amp-Guard, a boffer weapon. You can use weapons in between LARPs, well, most weapons, there are some exceptions, and the rules are kind of the same for a lot of things. So for example, let's say I get hit in the arm. Well, if you've seen our Amp-Guard videos and kind of what shots are, you'd understand that your arm is gone. And then if your arm's hit again, it would go straight to your body. The death areas are shoulder, chest, back, butt, well, groin, you're going to die anyways, hips as well, and all along this center area that you'll be dead. So it's the exact same as Amp-Guard. It also has the exact same rules for limb striking areas, that if you have a hand-on weapon, your hand is immune. However, it's above the wrist. It's not wrist and up, it's above the wrist. So if your wrist is just barely hit, well, then your arm's gone. So that's a small change there. Aside from that, if you have a foot and it is on the ground, then it cannot be harmed from below the ankle. And if it is in the air, well, it's free game. Now there are more complexities to it. This is just a little introduction to get you to understand the idea of what Belegarth is. We'll go into how to play in a later video. But as you can see, that's a very basic part of a system, very basic for most boffers, and that's it. There's no levels, there's no classes, there's no monstrous creatures you're going to have to deal with. It's literally your ability to fight and prevail. You have no levels that help you. No, well, I've been here longer, so I have about 300 points and you can't touch me. No, like a new person can come in, and if they were extremely experienced in another LARP, can come in and they can just destroy someone who's been in there for 10 years and is really good in Belegarth, because the only thing that matters is your fighting capability and your experience. Now, I'm talking a lot about fighting capability because that is the core of Belegarth. But Belegarth's fighting is a little bit different, and what draws people to Belegarth, aside from the simplicity, is that it is more physical. So for example, let's say someone has a sword over here, and this isn't my hand, pretend this is someone else. Someone has a sword, I can actually grab it and yank it from them while they're holding it. I can, if I approach someone, I can drop my sword, grab them, grab their arm and wherever else, and grapple them and get them to the ground. We'll go over how to do that in a safer manner. It's not as bad as it sounds, but it's still extremely physical. With a shield, you go out there, and normally for LARPs, it's just more passive blocking, and that's what a shield is. In Belegarth, you can actually check someone with the shield, or you can shield bash. Yes, you can actually shield bash in Belegarth. Something that a lot of people in other LARPs complain about, that, oh, why can't we shield bash? Why can't we use shields more offensively? And in some LARPs, you can manipulate equipment. You can do that as well in Belegarth. I mean, it's far more physical. But you can do more with your own physicality and be more aggressive. And this is something that really separates Belegarth from a lot of the other foam fighting, whacking LARPs out there, is because it is far more aggressive. And that's either a complete pro, as I'm like, yeah, this is something I really want, or it's a con of, oh my god, why am I here? I personally have a injured shoulder, nerve damage, so I can't go all the time. I've been going off and on to Belegarth for about 4 years now. I've been to a few events, but I can't stay all the time because of my injured shoulder. So if you do have an injury, be careful of that, tell other people, and it really depends on your area, since every area is different. For example, my area at first, it was extremely hardcore. You have to strike and be very physical, but eventually it turned into more softer and a bit lighter contact. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we'll talk about valid shots and how to play the game, but when you strike, generally weapons will have to be weighted to a certain point. They need to weigh something. So your weapons are going to be a bit heavier. This one, I don't know if it actually will work in Belegarth. I have used it. No, it does. It does. It just barely meets the minimum requirement. But some weapons are much heavier, so when they swing, it's more, and we'll go into more about that and how to play. So look forward to that video on how to play Belegarth. But what else can you do in Belegarth? What else is it about aside from being physical and just fighting and being aggressive? Well, it has a lot of different aspects. In order to get better at that, you can go to practices. Now, these are park days or event days, whatever you would call them, for your normal weekly meetings and some of your LARPs. Event days is a little bit misleading with Belegarth because there are events. Now, for park days, it's usually just sparring or you're using the basic rules and you're fine. For events, it can get to the point where heralds, marshals, reeves, referees, they are the ones who can watch over the game. There are far more weapons. There's bows, there's two-handed weapons, there's a whole bunch of other things that change the nature of the game. While in your little practices, you might have 5 people and say, oh, well, we have to kind of go melee. No. In events, you're going to have a lot of people and death will happen a lot more. There will be extra rules for death sometimes because of that. There might be some additional things as well. At events, the game changes a little bit. It's still the basic Belegarth, but the core of Belegarth is still fighting. You're out there, you're going, and you're having fun in fighting as well. Now, it's not just fighting. It's only about 95% fighting. The other 5% can be, if you so choose, it's completely optional, to roleplay. Now, people who roleplay in Belegarth roleplay honestly better than some other LARPs that have it incorporated in their system. We've covered Amtgard, and there's a whole monster slew. I'll link it. But while they have a systemic monsters built into the system, people don't roleplay as much as they do in Belegarth. It's really strange. In Belegarth, you can actually face paint it all the way up, and this is actually very common. You can say that, yeah, I'm a monster and I'm an orc, and people say, cool, what's that do? It's like, I'm an orc. What do you mean? It's like, well, do you get any bonuses? What? What are these bonuses? What are you talking about? I know how to swing a stick or shoot a bow. And that's kind of how it is. Now, lastly, Belegarth does allow you the opportunity to craft and do politics and have a whole knight system as well, which is, it's there. It's not in the basic rules, but it is there. So while the basic rules are very simple, and while the game of Belegarth is all about hitting people and having fun and just fighting like they did in the good old days without the magic and things, Belegarth does have more aspects to that, and we'll be going into more of those as we continue on in our exploration of Belegarth. I hope you are a bit more informed as to what Belegarth is, and if you're wondering how to play or the obstacles of getting into Belegarth, those videos will be coming up very shortly. So stay tuned, keep watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out, and keep LARPing.